All right, hello and welcome. Brett here with ClickMill.co. So in this video, we're going to be talking about what are called performance max ads. And when we're talking about Google, as we talked about earlier, personally, I trust them as far as I can throw them. And so if it says performance max, I'm going to think it is going to maximize performance for Google. Okay, so let's just start with that, and then we'll see if that's untrue. Okay, now, for the purposes of this video, I'm just poking around, looking up some different definitions of these things, just to make sure I'm accurately portraying these things. And I got a great answer on Google. I'm going to read off to you. Okay, so Performance Max is a campaign type that allows advertisers to access all of their Google Ads inventory from a single campaign. Okay, so this is the pitch. And so what it's going to say is, this is the greatest kind of ad because you just show everything everywhere. Okay. And then it's going to continue to say here, this is Google's help site, by the way. So again, we're taking advice on what we should advertise with from the car salesman. Okay. So advertisers who use Performance Max experience on average, experience an average of 18% more conversions at a similar cost per action. My goodness. So you're telling me if I use this, I'm going to get 20% more conversions in my website. What a deal. Okay. Now, there are some glaring issues right now in PMAX. This is confirmed by our Google Ads account manager. I grilled him with 1,000 questions when we hired him because I was like, he's been trained by Google for 7 years. He's so good at what he does. And he confirmed this as well. He's like, yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. So why are we getting 18% more on this Performance Max account? How does it, well, firstly, how does account work? So when you set up a Google Performance Max campaign, it's going to use all of the things we've talked about. It's going to use text ads, display ads, video ads. It's going to put the ads on the search network and the search engine in YouTube. It's just going to put everything everywhere. So you should really do it because you get the best of everything. And, you know, that sounds nice, but the problem is you can't really optimize for that amount of data. That's really hard. When you, especially if you're talking about a website, let's say a shopping campaign website, or even a service website that's got, say, 10 ad groups, if you have a limited budget and you want to say, I want to get a lead, and then you're saying, let's say you have $1,000 and you have, let's just say one campaign. And let's say you can sell your product to all 50 states. So let's say you go in there and just based on location, let's say you target all 50 states and all the major cities in the US, which I happen to know is right around 99 different locations that you need data on. Okay, so you got $1,000 a month to buy data on 100 data points. How long is that going to take you to buy enough data to make decisions? Well, think about it. You got 100, let's just call it 100 data points, and you got $1,000. So you got 10 times 100. Yeah, it's 1,000. You got $10 a month for each data point. Well, how many clicks is that? $5 a click. That's 2 clicks a month per data point. So let's just say the state of Texas gets 2 clicks. What is the likelihood, knowing that our average purchase rate on the website is 1%? 2 clicks a month. It's going to take you like 20 months just to get 100 clicks to see if you get one purchase. And that's just for one location. So you have to have a very large budget to just shotgun and advertise everywhere. And that's why I say when we do this professionally, if the client is like, no, we want to prioritize lowest hanging fruit first, go for the inbound traffic, and then pick the keywords that are like, I want to buy it right now. And then you expand out, which is like, I'm interested in buying, but I'm not sure yet. And then you run them into landing pages. And we keep making this bigger and bigger so we get the highest, the most profitable traffic first. So what this Performance Max campaign is going to do is it's just saying, give us as much money as you can, and we're just going to just shoot it out to everybody, irrelevant of whether it's inbound traffic or outbound traffic. And now what the intention is that this does is it optimizes for you because, you know, a lot of small business owners don't know how to do this. Okay, so it'll optimize for you. Well, how are you optimizing for me when there's this amount of data? That's, by the way, what I just gave you was one search campaign for all 50 states. just for locations. We can target it on locations. We can target it on age, gender, household income, all kinds of different demographics like income level, job, company size, kids. Like there's hundreds, probably thousands of ways to target in these ads. And what this is saying is not only are we going to do that for search campaign, we're just going to throw it into everything, display ads and YouTube and all the search networks. We're just going to do everything. That is logically impossible to do well. Okay, so that's the first problem, is it's doing way too many things too quickly. And what I know as an advertiser is it's actually impossible to get the types of data you need to do that really, really profitably. Now, can you expand out to that over time as you scale the business and you're doing? Yeah, absolutely. But when you're talking about small business just starting, why? Okay, this doesn't make sense. So then on the back end, it's saying advertisers who use Performance Max experience on average 18% more conversions at a similar cost per action. Why is it getting more conversions for a similar cost per action? Well, because they're just going and they're just targeting in on your brand name. They're targeting in on the lowest hanging fruit, and they're pulling that in, which is what I'm telling you to do. So is this useful for smaller businesses that need money coming in fast? Probably so. On the other hand, once that business starts to get bigger, what starts to happen is you say, well, we really need to get everything specific. And we've already talked about this in another video, so I'm not going to go too far into it. We talked about it specifically in regard to shopping ads. In this case, this is called a Performance Max campaign that just shows it to everything. When you have the shopping ad, the PMax shopping ads, or the smart shopping ads, whatever, it's basically just a PMax, but within shopping ads. So it just shows all the shopping ads to all the places. So it's a very similar concept. So related explanations here. But what it's doing is it's just pulling from the low hanging fruit. So as the company gets bigger, you can't really continue that, because still the amount of data you would need to really do all those things really well is still way too much. And what is it doing? It's really going to feed off the low hanging fruit, and it will have enough data for that. Problem is you don't get a lot of that data. So you're going to have to start over anyway. And, as soon as you kind of pull off and you say, well, I'm going to start a branding campaign, it's eating your branding campaign. It's kind of like, almost like, what do you want to call it, like a vampire. And so there's, say, 100 people a month searching for your brand, and your branding campaign could be doing really well, but your PMax ads are buying all of it. So it's not really giving you all the data you need and giving you all the settings to optimize it fully. And then when you try to start something else, it's eating that. So it works well for small businesses, but at some point, you're probably going to want to transition away from it, at least for now, and get more relevant data and control over the account. It really limits your control. And once you get into it, it's hard to get out because it's working. Why would I just turn it off and start over and then get data I can use? So it's a tricky business playing with Google's newest tools, because you kind of get stuck in them a little bit. Now, I will give this caveat. You can tell I'm not the biggest fan of these tools. Now, as these AIs and these LLMs get better, those are going to get further implemented. And I already can tell you, I've got a little bit of insider information. They're going to be coming out with even better AI tools. Now, when an AI can think like I can think and can go in and optimize in the way I can, maybe I can even tell it the way I want it to approach, and then it does it all for me. Okay, well, that might be different because I actually have more control, or the AI is a lot better and a lot smarter, So now that may work in the benefit of the advertiser. That may, and in my opinion, will probably work in the benefit of Google more than the advertiser. But either way, it may change as these AIs get better. We may be able to trust these types of campaigns more. But again, there's pros and cons. It's all strategy. Small businesses, it may work for. Bigger businesses, I'd probably move away from them at this point, just because you have less control, less access to data, you got less levers to pull, and it's really going to restrict your ability to understand your market. So with that, thanks so much for being in this video. We'll see you in the next one.